Bounce. Whoa, now. Whoa, hey.
Watch it.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Chicago Fire Season 12, Episode 8. All the dark recap, review, and ending explained. In the Chicago Fire episode, Jared Lennox was causing problems. He was stationed at the firehouse to purposefully bring them down. He was voicing accusations against everyone, beginning with Violet. He went on to speak about Severide as well. Severide could not bear the sight of him. They were all surprised when Lennox showed up on his second day as if nothing had happened. As if he didn't intend to destroy several careers. He even complained about Mouch, who did nothing but contest a parking citation issued by the city. Lennox truly was the worst. They couldn't do anything about him just now. There was no law against annoying people. He was allowed to return to work, and their ambulance was quickly dispatched to a dialysis facility. Several people coughed. Several people passed out. It couldn't have been caused just by the dialysis equipment, so Kid looked for another source until she discovered smoke coming from a supply closet. She wasn't sure what was producing the smoke. She only knew it was a potentially harmful substance. Kid issued the order to vacate the building. She requested additional firefighters. They arrived before the hazmat squad came, and the smoke was growing larger. It was not dispersing outside. Severide ordered his group to enter the building. They discovered the reason for the smoke. They helped put it out. They saved the day, but Kid recognized one of the patients as her former academy training teacher. He helped train both her and Carver. They decided they'd check on him after all. They were unable to contact us by phone, so they carried the gear over to his place. They remembered Charlie as being old school. He was the kind to try to walk with a broken leg. It must be awful for him to need dialysis. His former students were just concerned with his well-being. They stopped by his house. They knocked on his door, and Carver could see him on the ground through the window. They broke into his home. They hurried him to the hospital. Charlie's veins appear to have ruptured during his dialysis treatment. Charlie's wife died several years ago. They have never had children. He essentially adopted the students he was teaching at the academy. This is why Carver and Kid wanted to remain involved in his case. Carver had noted that the new youngster was not taking the situation as seriously as he should. He sought to speak with Gibson about it. Gibson seemed to be doing well. He didn't appear to be disturbed or in need of a conversation. Carver continued to say that he was available to speak with Gibson if she needed it. They decided to meet for drinks after work. Gibson never showed up. He left Carver waiting for him and did not have the decency to respond to any of his texts. Gibson spent the night with a new woman he met. She worked as a doctor at Chicago Med. The next morning, Gibson tried to sweet-talk her into giving him medicine. She must have realized what their night was truly about because she made excuses to leave as soon as possible. Gibson lied, saying that his medication had been missing. He said that the chemist said it was too soon to refill. It was all a deception, as Gibson appears to have a drug issue. Nobody in the firehouse knew about it. They were more concerned about Lennox. Chief Bowden realized why Robinson unleashed Lennox on them like an attack dog. Hill, the fire chief, was retiring. The senior position in the fire department was becoming available. Bowden and Robinson were two of the candidates vying to succeed her. Robinson purposefully placed Lennox at 51 to end Bowden's chances. Bowden realized it. He tried to get Robinson to back off. She declined to do so. Bowden was thinking of moving this up the food chain when Gibson went off on Lennox. He just took off one day. He was stressed out since he hadn't gotten his medications. The others had to instruct Gibson to back off. He did it because he realized the drugs were forcing him to confront a man for no reason. They were never going to persuade Lennox to cease working for Robinson. They couldn't force him. They were unable to sweet-talk him either. He needed to see the light on his own, which he never got around to. There was a moment with Violet. It could have changed everything. They received a call from a biker bar. This biker had a shattered collarbone. He almost killed Lennox for cutting his jacket, since motorcyclists and biker gangs valued team coats. As a result, Lennox declined to ride in the rear with the patient. He asked Violet to breach the rules and let him drive. She did this because she is a compassionate person. She also couldn't help but point out that he was the one who wanted to breach the rules, and she was assisting him by not being a monster. Bowden was unaware of this heartfelt conversation. He went over Robinson's head and complained about her to Hill. Hill believed he was overreacting. She assumed he was another man moaning about a woman in authority. Bowden's complaint could cost him his employment right now. Bowden then placed Lennox back in the floater pool. He refused to keep Lennox at his firehouse any longer. Thus, he was booted out of 51. Bowden gave Lennox some advice before the other man went. He told him to protect his own career, not only hers. Carver, meanwhile, chatted with Gibson. He could see he had a drug problem. He figured it out. Gibson attempted to play it off. He stated that he had no difficulty. He went on to punch a mirror later. Kidd discovered him in the shower, sobbing from his hand wound. Gibson was going to obtain assistance. The same goes for Charlie. Charlie's kidneys were completely healthy. He was misdiagnosed by a doctor with a negative reputation who transferred Charlie to a dialysis center where the doctor serves on the board. He was practically referring patients to himself. Kidd and Carver planned to stop him when they are not putting Gibson in a drug recovery center. Gibson could stay and enjoy the fireman's prank war, but he did thank Carver for keeping things straight with him. Robinson was also withdrawn from the shortlist for interim fire chief, so now she's enraged. She wants vengeance, and she is going after Bowden with everything she's got. The end.